Hi, it's Maya here with a bit of a different sort of video today. Some of you might know that I like to draw in my spare time, and in my previous workplace I was a visual designer and illustrator. At work I did mostly vector illustrations, but I like to do traditional stuff at home. So I asked on Twitter if you would be interested in seeing my favorite drawings that I did in 2015, and all of you seem to be into it, so I decided to just go ahead and do the video. Now, 2015 wasn't a very productive year for me, creatively speaking, so most of the stuff that I have to show you are pencil sketches, but I also did manage to do a couple of ink pieces for Inktober, and there might be one or two finished pieces in color. I like to color with Copic markers, and I just didn't do that last year for some reason. And one of the reasons why I decided to do this video was because I hoped that it would inspire me to draw more in the coming year. So without further ado, let's get into my favorite drawings that I did last year. So let's start out with about the only colored piece that I have, and this is Inktober Crane from the Sleepy Hollow TV series. This is a very small drawing. It's about 2.5 inches times 3.5 inches, and that is the size of a usual trading card. This is a type of art that is normally known as sketch cards or personal sketch cards or artist trading cards or ATCs or simply art cards. And this is what I like to do with my Copic markers. I also colored this older drawing of Abby Mills, but I'm not that fond of it because the sketch turned out so much better than the final finished piece. The proportions of her face sort of changed while I inked her, and her face turned out too long, and I'm not a big fan of her, so let's take her away. Here's another art card for you. This time it's a pencil sketch of Princess Leia from Star Wars, of course. I remember I drew this at about 3 a.m. or something. I just felt like drawing Leia. Okay, and here's my absolute favorite drawing of last year, and this is a simple pencil sketch of Marquis de Carabas from Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. He is my favorite character from Neverwhere, and I hadn't ever drawn him before, so this is my very first try, and I really like how it turned out. I think it captured his personality. And here are some 10-minute sketches of actors that I did last year. It always takes me a while to warm up, so the first ones don't turn out that well. You can see a very wonky Colin Morgan as Merlin and Jason Statham at the top there. But by the third sketch I was more into it, so Jason Statham in the middle looks a lot more like himself. And on the right there's Scott Rigao. He took 17 minutes because I was getting a bit tired at that point. And upside down there was Ben Whishaw. You can see he took me 16 minutes. It took actually 10 minutes to do his face, but then I spent the extra 6 minutes on his hair and beard. I don't know why I chose so many men with beards. It would have been easier to choose clean-shaven people. And here's a little sketch that I did of Hannah from the Rat Queens. She's my favorite rat queen, and I hope to do a finished version of this drawing sometime this year. And then it was time for Inktober. Inktober is a thing that takes place in October every year, and the goal is to do one ink drawing per day, and I managed to do 20 ink drawings, and I think that was very well done for me, since I hadn't drawn that much earlier in the year. It's a bit more difficult to show, since a few of them are in this notebook, but let's see what I can do. Okay, yeah, so the first Inktober drawing that I did was another Leia. I decided to do portraits of these characters I liked in the movies when I was a kid. To continue that theme, the next thing I drew was Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman from Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer is just a badass in that role, I love her. And the next day I did this little drawing of Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family, and those were all from the notebook. And here's another portrait. It's Winona Ryder's character from Beetlejuice, Lydia Deetz. A lot of the movies that I watched as a kid were quite goth now that I think about it. And I also drew Madeline Kahn from the Clue movie as Mrs. White. She didn't turn out as well as the others, but I thought I'd just show her anyway. Then I also drew a couple of Buffy characters. First, here's Willow, who is my favorite from the series, next to Giles. And then I also drew Drusilla from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She's twisted and absolutely bonkers, and I love her. There's something weird going on with her cheek in that drawing, but let's not talk about that. And here's just a fun little drawing. She's a drunk halfling. She wants to order some more. I think she shouldn't be served anymore. Yeah, I like how the line work turned out in that one. And here's some book fan art. This is Maya from the Goblin Emperor. It's not exactly how I imagined him, but I still quite like the drawing. I think he's wearing some sort of imperial dressing gown over some imperial pajamas here, so not one of those finer outfits that he wears during the book. So we're almost at the end. The final thing that I drew during Inktober was Stephen Fry as Jeeves from the Jeeves and the Wooster TV series. And I just sort of drew him in this sort of note paper that I happened to have around at the time, which I soon grew to regret because I wanted to draw Wooster too, of course. So later on I drew Hugh Laurie as Bertie Wooster, and he is done in this proper illustration board, and now they don't match. I would really like for them to be a matching set, but I messed up. So those were my favorite drawings of 2015. If you want to see more of my stuff, I'm Maya on DeviantArt, Maya Draws on Tumblr. Those are the two places that I'm most active at. And then I'm also Maya Draws on Twitter and Maya Twist on Instagram. Twitter is by far the less active one. Someone had already taken Maya and Maya Draws on Instagram, so I had to take Maya Twist. So if you want to see more, you can check those places out. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm going to insert a couple of colored pieces at the end. One is a card that I did for my sister, so I don't have it anymore to show you. And another is a vector illustration of Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show that I did for Valentine's last year. So of course that's digital, so I couldn't show it to you here. So I had a lot of fun showing these to you. I hope you had some fun watching them, and I'll see you later.